What's good, tea people? This is Denny from TVB, bringing you guys InBetweenIsode number 9. So last time we waxed a little philosophical, but we're gonna get back to some actual tea today. This is a tea. We're going to be tasting a 2012 ripe PuEr from Mandala tea. This is a pretty cool cake. We have a sample here they sent us over. Thanks, folks. So this is actually coming from, I guess, 40 or 50-year-old abandoned tea trees from the Jingmei Mountain, and the folks over at Mandala actually produced this themselves. So they fermented this for 46 days, and then they pressed it in March 2012. So we're going to give this a shot. We have enough for 1 solid cup, and, you know, actually, I'm almost thinking that we might not have enough. Let's open this up and take a look. Looks beautiful. Nice, small. Whew. Smells like really sweet, woody, a little bit sour, a little bit fishy. So I'm hoping that this is actually working now. I've been trying to get better at the close-ups. So hopefully, guys, you can see that. So we'll go ahead and just throw this in the Yixing clay teapot here. Gonna break it up a little bit. And pull out the stamp. Throw the rest of this in here. So I've got some water coming right off of the boil. And excited to give this a shot. So we're going to go ahead and give this a quick rinse, as one normally would do. Go ahead and just agitate this a little bit. Let's do. Shoot that over there. How you guys doing? You know, like I said last episode, one of my favorite parts about tea is just the excuse to slow down, take a break, and enjoy some of life's pleasantries. And so hopefully you guys get to do that with me right now. If you want to sip along with maybe something ripe and delicious, feel free to do so. Let's give this a little smell, see how we're doing here. Yeah, really creamy. A little, Actually, like almost a little bit of like roasted nutty flavors going on. Definitely that kind of typical piece of grass in there. You know it's authentic when there's grass in the tea. But yeah, no, this is definitely kind of right in this smack dab in the middle of that kind of woody, creamy, sweet, slightly vanilla PuEr category. Oh, right, PuEr. Maybe a little bit of molasses, a little bit of plum, a little bit of Robitussin. Literally. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you've had the the kind of cherry Robitussin. It's got kind of that weird chemically, kind of like herbally aftertaste. That's not good, but that's what it smells like. Don't judge. Okay, so I did one rinse. You know, the liqueur here, let's try to see if we can get this looking good. See if you guys can see that. Let's do this actually. You can see that it's a little bit cloudy still, so we're gonna actually go ahead and give this one more rinse. And you know, personal preference here, it also smelled a little sour out of the gate, so for me, I drink so much ripe PuEr every day that I'd rather just go ahead and get through those first often a little bit funky steeping. So it's much clearer now. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that as well. But really excited to try this. We've done a couple I think we've done only one Mandala tea on the show so far. So let me know if you guys can, hopefully this is showing up. It's definitely not super red. It's got more of that auburn color. So let's go ahead and pour this. I'm gonna get the camera over here, show you guys to take a look at what it looks like. Try to get some light in there. Nice and dark, typical. Let's go ahead and give it another smell real fast. Yep. Yeah, like hazelnuts a little bit. It's really subtle. I mean, it's definitely in that kind of just straight down the middle of that ripe. I'd say it probably has a little bit more vanilla sweetness. It smells viscous. It smells thick. Yeah, very sweet smelling. Almost a little bit fruity. All right, so this is the third wash for steeping. Give it a shot. Cheers, guys. Okay. Not nearly as sweet on the front of it at all. Almost a little bit, almost completely lacking sweetness, actually. But it has, ooh. That roast is kind of coming out as more of, kind of in that sort of cocoa butter, chocolate, vanilla flavor spectrum. Not getting a lot of the fruit, not getting a lot of the plums quite yet. You know, actually almost has a little bit of a bitter front to it in a mildly pleasant way. I think that there's a little bit of sourness at the end, and I think that's going to actually go away in the next steeping, so we'll keep that in mind. Give one more little sip. Yeah, it's actually surprisingly a little bit bitter in the front, which is atypical of ripe PuEr, but that's definitely going to be related to the age of this, so I think that it's going to mellow out a lot. I'm using a lot less leaf than I typically would want to use, and it's coming out nice and thick. And so I think that's definitely a good quality of this tea. And I'm going to give it another second here. Okay, that's great. And let's see if I can get this on camera for you folks. Always got to love the tea experience, right? It's every part of the experience watching the liquid drop out of the of the Yixing. A little bit of a lasting chalkiness in my mouth, and that's a textural thing. It's not a taste thing, and I don't think that's bad. I think that it could definitely be related to the variety of leaf that was chosen. I'm actually going to pop in here and take a look. A lot of really small leaves, and I can't tell. It looks like there's actually, yeah, a lot of whole leaf, a lot of small leaf. It's brewing up quite nicely. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm getting a lot of that plum brandy sweetness about 2/3 of the way through from a smell perspective, but it's not really that sweet tasting, and I'm not getting a lot of the fruit. I'm getting a lot more of those kind of like slightly roasted, maybe almost a little bit charred cocoa flavors, which is actually pretty unique, especially for a ripe PuEr. So it betrays itself in the smell of it, and it's got a very unique taste. Pretty interesting. Cheers, guys. Ooh, definitely has that really woody, pencil shaving, freshly chipped cedar front to it, and it's actually replacing that bitter experience. Really nice cooling mouthfeel at the end of it. Although I think this has a long finish, which actually I'm really enjoying too. Less of the punching cocoa flavors this time. Still doesn't have that super sweetness that some ripes do get, and those are usually because I think they're probably because they're just fermented so much. So this is really nice. I don't know if this would be a daily drinker for me. This is actually not as approachable as I was expecting, and that's not a bad thing. I think this is a situational tea for me. So what I mean by that is that if I want something that's a little bit harsher, that's a little bit more distinct, it's kind of on the fringe of that classical red PuEr taste, I think I would probably look for something like this. So that's how I would recommend it out to you folks too. As a daily drinker, I'm not quite sure that this would fit my palate just in terms of the sweet notes of it that I love from red PuEr, but it has a really wonderful briskness to it, kind of like the delight that you have when you drink your first sip of coffee. Hopefully not because you're wildly addicted to the caffeine of it. Well, that's definitely part of it, but because of that kind of wake you up bitterness, that kind of startling, punchy flavor in the front of it. And I think this actually really resembles that in a really positive way. So I'm enjoying this a lot. And I would recommend this. I think that this tea will get way better. And I think this tea will be, in 3 years, quite nice. That punch in the face in the very beginning of it will, I think, mellow out a little bit. But it'd be interesting to see. Let's give it another shot. It's interesting, there's a little bit of tartness right after that kind of front. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. It's not like acidic, like tomatoes or citrusy. And yeah, that really wonderful mouth cooling sensation. This would definitely be a tea that, every tea is different, and this tea for me is kind of a cooling, relaxing tea. So really enjoying this. Thanks to the folks over at Mandala Tea for sending this in. And this has been another episode of TDB's InBetweenIsodes. Check us out. James is doing these as well now. So we're posting content at least 3 times a week. At least to start. We'll see. It's kind of going to be a casual thing. But I think this is episode 9 for me, and I think he's on episode 3 now. So check us out on TDB. We also recently launched a newsletter. So the point of that is actually just to get you guys on a big list so that if we end up going to your city or we want to do a tea exchange or who knows what, but if you guys want to check us out on tdb.org, it's going to be on the sidebar. Go ahead and sign up. We'd love to drink tea with you folks if we do make it out to your areas. You can have, if you guys want to get in touch with us about doing an interview, or we were thinking of maybe doing a Google Hangout where we all have some tea together in the afternoon one day. Let me know if those things sound cool to you guys. Please check out the previous episode about meditation and taste and let me know your feedback about that as well. And see you guys next time. Cheers.